Prophecy Club. I'm going to entitle this The V to the Mask to the Mark. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. The V to mask up to anti-V to the second V to mask this, and also there's a third V. Now, what are we talking about? I'm about to tell you where the end game of this whole V and this mask and the anti-V, where that's really going. And I'm also going to have to tell you it is heading toward the mark of the beast. Back in about March of 2020, the V came along. People started dying. We heard we must cover our nose and mouth to stop it. Yet, any person with a basic V knowledge will tell you simply covering your nose and mouth with cloth will stop no V. It is like trying to stop a mosquito with chicken wire. It is like putting a golf ball through a basketball hoop. It is like building a wall, but not completing it, and the people just walk around where there is no wall. You know what I'm saying. In order to stop a V, it takes a very large mask with two very large, cumbersome filters similar to the World War II gas masks. The foolproof way to stop a V is to live in a hazmat balloon suit with oxygen tanks like they wear in virology labs, so people who work with V know how to stop them. I'm talking about the people that work with the deadly Vs, they know how to stop them. And it is not just a simple cloth over the nose and the mouth. If a simple cloth over the nose and mouth really worked, then why would there be hazmat suits? Why would they even have them? Why would they exist? The answer is because just a simple cloth isn't going to stop it. Okay, but just for a moment, let's accept that not one mask we can put on will stop any V. Okay, it just won't do it. Let's settle that on an argument for at least this broadcast. Okay, so no mask stops a V. I'll say it again. No mask stops a V. I'm talking about your simple cloth masks, the things that we see everybody wearing. Okay, so if that's true, then why do we see health professionals pushing masks? Why are we being forced to wear a mask if they don't work? Okay, now let's get to the next part of the broadcast. And that's the big question. Does the mask relate to the mark of the beast? Okay, let's look into specifically what the Bible says about the mark. And I think I'm going to show you some things you probably haven't seen before, because in the process of memorizing the book of Revelation, I was shown a deeper understanding than I'd ever had before simply teaching it for some 30 years. So let's start at Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. Now, this is the religious beast. This is not the political beast we call the Antichrist, okay? I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, probably the Pope, and he spake as a dragon. So it'll be a Pope, I don't know if it's this one or another one, that will literally have the heart of the dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast, or the Antichrist. He'll exercise all the power of the Antichrist, and causeth, now here it is, this is an important part, he causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast. Okay, so we've got the false prophet that causes all the earth to worship the political beast, or the Antichrist. And he doeth great wonders. Now, that is so important. You see, because remember I told you, August 8th, 2015, Saturday night, Lord, I don't have anything to say for the sermon tomorrow morning. What do you want to say? And I heard words. And it said, this is the time of miracles. Then he downloaded in my heart, as the judgment hits, so will my miracles. Miracles like no one has seen, going all the way back to Adam and Eve. And you tell them, I will never leave them nor forsake them. And as the devil shows up, I'm going to meet him. Inch for inch, step for step, pound for pound, everything he does, I'm going to meet him. Now, when he says, and he doeth great wonders, I believe that we are now spiritually in that time of great wonders. While they haven't arrived, at least to my liking yet, I believe they are coming. So he doeth great wonders. So we can spot this when we start seeing great miracles, great wonders coming upon the earth, and I believe we're just about to see them. When that happens is the time when all of this mark of the beast stuff is about to come out. So I believe what we're talking about today is really lining us up for what is coming. Worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, so he doeth great wonders, and he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Maketh fire, can we do that? Can we make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men? Well, if you go into just a little bit of research in some of these fires that are happening in California, I have seen pictures of cars that were burned so completely the aluminum alloy wheels were melted like wax under the car, yet the car was sitting under a row of trees and the trees were not burned. Now, how do you burn a car so thoroughly? I mean, every bit of plastic, every bit of rubber on the whole tire was all melted, all burned. It was gone. Yet the trees overshadowed with were still there. So how do you burn a car and not burn the trees above? Well, that's probably he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Also, other reports coming out of California say that sparks oftentimes appear just out of thin air. Some of them say they're like blue sparks, and that's what's starting the fire. Verse 14, and deceiveth them. See, that's where we're really going here. We're really looking at great wonders used to deceive us. Remember, the Bible says that if it were possible, it would deceive even the very elect. So the deceptions that we see and are seeing are really good deceptions, because if they weren't really good deceptions, then they wouldn't deceive us. The thing about being deceived is the person that's being deceived doesn't know they're being deceived until they're out of the deception. Could it be that right now we, the world, pretty much everybody, is in the middle of one of the great big deceptions? And he deceiveth them that dwell in the earth by the means of those miracles, so miracles can deceive, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, or the political guy, or the Antichrist, saying to them that dwell in the earth that they should make an image. I believe that that is a clone. Make a clone of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So apparently, the Antichrist is going to be either killed or appears to be killed, and then will come back to life, and that's when all the world wonders after the beast. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. In other words, they have power to make a clone. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause, that's giving orders, speak and cause, as when many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this clone then turns around and says, everybody got to worship this political beast or the Antichrist over here. Anybody that doesn't, kill him. I made a whole program called The Markers Are Coming. If you haven't watched that, you really should go back, but I'm not covering that. This is a different broadcast, different point I'm making today. And he causeth all, both small and great, here's the point, causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, receive a mark in the right hand, a mark, in the right hand of their foreheads, and then no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now here it lists three things. But if you go over another place, it says, and I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that gotten victory over the beast, over his image, over his mark, and over the number of his name. So there's actually four things we can't do. Two of them involve bending the knee. Two of them involve taking a mark. We cannot worship the beast or his image. We cannot take his mark or his number. There's four things we can't do concerning the mark of the beast. So he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand. Okay, let's stop that. And he causeth all. That's the point of what I'm trying to make here. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. In other words, no one can buy or sell, verse 17. No one can buy or sell, save he had the mark in the name of the beast or the number of his name. Well, how does that relate to what we're talking about now? Okay, let's back up a little bit. I remember in the 70s, a lot of people, including me, didn't like us getting our speed limits lowered from 70 down to 55. We went and got us CBs. Breaker. How about you eastbound? You got a westbound here. Anybody behind you? Hey, you got a northbound here. Southbound, you got a copy? Yeah, I used to do that CB stuff too. Why? Because I didn't like being told I couldn't go 70 miles an hour on a highway that was designed for 70 miles an hour, was safe at 70 miles an hour, and I'm told to be going 55. And yep, I got a few tickets back in my younger days because I didn't like it, and nobody else did either. But what was the real point of the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit? Well, when we were in the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, we didn't understand. We didn't see where it was going. Kind of like where we are right now with the V and the mask. We're in it, so we don't see where it's going. But that's the point of the broadcast. I'm going to try to help you to see where this is really going. So the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit was actually a social lesson. That's right. It was to teach the public that when a law is passed, like it or don't, you will obey it. See, it was not until the public finally reached the point to where they had given up on the CBs, they'd given up on trying to beat the police, and they finally just started obeying the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit pretty much, then all of a sudden they removed it back up to 70. See, they told us it was because we were short on crude oil. Well, it didn't lower the amount of crude oil that we were using. So that was really just something that we were told. What it really was is to teach us that when the elite tell us to do something, we must obey, and you will do it. If it takes 10, 15, 20 years, you will do it. And it's not until the public started obeying that they removed a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. What about the yellow and the pink ribbons that we saw all of the people wearing? What was the social lesson we were to learn? We were to learn that it's fun to follow the crowd. Oh, yes, we like wearing those yellow ribbons. See my pink ribbon? I'm remembering because this is Breast Cancer Week. I remember, probably shouldn't tell this, but I was getting off of an airplane. I was taking down my luggage, and somebody was wearing, I think it was a stewardess, was wearing one of those pink ribbons. And somebody said, "What's the pink ribbon for?" And another guy turned and says, "Oh, well, this is Breast Awareness Week." But the flight attendant said, "No, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Week." Of course, all the guys chuckled. But the point is, the pink ribbons, why, that was to help us to learn that it's fun going along with the crowd. Now, the V, okay, so what's the V about? The V is to please Moloch and Baal, who came to kill, steal, and destroy. Remember, John 10:10 says that the thief cometh not, but for steal, kill, and destroy. I am come that you might have life, and that you might have it more abundantly. The mask is to teach us a social lesson. I'll say it again. The mask is to teach us a social lesson. What lesson? And that is, not only must you have fun joining, but you must obey as instructed. The mask is to teach us a social lesson to do as we are told. The day will come when a person cannot buy or sell unless they have the mark of the beast. The possibility is coming in which you must take the V if you want to do the following. And this is a short part of a very long list. If you want to stay in the military, you got to take the V. If you want to keep your job as a nurse or a doctor or basically anywhere in the medical field, you'll take the V. If you want to fly in an airplane, you'll take the V. If you want to pass through customs to another country, you got to have the V. If you want to go into a grocery store, well, that's where we're heading into the mark, you see. See, the mask is not the mark. Let me say it again. The mask is not the mark. The V is not the mark. But it is preparing us mentally to accept the mark. It's preparing us to be a joiner. It's preparing us so that we can learn that when we're told to do something, we will do it. When you're told to go 55, even though the highway is built for 70, you will do it. When you're told to wear a mask, you will do it. When you're told to take a V, you will do it. See, it's causing us to accept what we were told by the news to do. It is showing us the joy of joining the masses as instructed. It is proving our masters, parenthesis Moloch and Baal, can control us as they want to. You see, all of this V and the mask, it's really a baby step heading to the big step, heading to the ultimate goal, and that is the mark of the beast. You see, the whole point and why Lucifer fell is because Lucifer, apparently, if you go to the Bible and read it, and I've covered that in other broadcasts, so I'll move on, but apparently his body was made of stones, and it would go into the presence of God and gather the glory of God, the light of God. And he was the praise and worship leader. He would come out, and then he would share that light with all the rest of creation, the angels and the whatnot. And he saw the glory and the worship that people freely gave God, and he decided he wanted that. But he decided he wanted it in a different way. Now, all of the world, all of creation was giving God worship and glory and love out of the freedom of their heart, but he was willing to take it the hard way. The ultimate objective of Lucifer in his entire existence is to sit on the Ark of the Covenant, which is the throne of God on the earth, to proclaim himself God, and to require every beating heart on the planet, like it or don't, required or free. He'll take it any way he can get it. He wants to require every one of them to worship him. Bottom line, bottom line, bottom line, that's it. That is the end game. That's where the Lucifer, the whole evil Moloch, that's where all of this evil is really heading. To a time when every beating heart will have to bend the knee and worship the Antichrist, which is the abomination of desolation, or be killed. That's where it's going. So you ask me, where's the V going? Let me say it a different way. Lindsey Williams was a chaplain on the building of the Alaska oil pipeline back in 1975 to 1977. After the 1973 oil crisis, which of course was another created problem, caused a sharp rise in oil prices in the United States. So he went up there, sent by his denomination, and he started holding revival meetings, getting people saved. As the men began to come to Christ, big people with problems began to disappear. So the elite that ran the pipeline called him in and said, "You've helped us with many disagreements. We want you to join us. We'll give you a place to live, all the food you need. You will come into our board meetings and assist us in solving complaints between management and the line workers." Not fully understanding that he was really joining the evil elite of the world, he agreed. He said, "For 2 years, I sat in on the board meetings with people and chummed with them, ate with them, some of the biggest names in the world." He said, "I'm talking about names that you've heard on TV, you've seen in your newspaper." He said, "These evil elite people rule the world." And he said, "I can assure you that there is a group of people far above any president, king, or queen who rule the world. Most of those people he worked with have gone to the grave now, but he still has distant connections with some of the people in the middle positions, enough so that from time to time they give him vital information." So about 3 months ago, I called him and I said, "Lindsey, tell me about the V. What's going on?" He said, "All right, well, the objective was not the V, nor the anti-V." I said, "Okay, well, tell me what's going on." He said, "All right, the objective of the V was to kill a lot of people." He said, "As you know, the Moloch and Baal worshipers, they please their God by killing other people. So the direct point of the V was to give their God a lot of human sacrifice." Said, not those words, but indirectly that's what he said. Then the mask came along, and he said the point of the mask is to get people tired of wearing this cumbersome, annoying thing, and to be able to say, well, if you don't want to have to wear the mask, then you got to take the anti-V. And he said, let me just tell you, the real thing about the anti-V, and it is designed so that when they release the second V, that the anti-V will have destroyed the immune system in such a way so that the second V will kill them quickly. And he said, and they won't last more than 2 or 3 days. And he said it will have massive casualties. He also mentioned that there is a third V coming. Now, what's really going on? Well, at the end of the day, just like it says, like I quoted, the thief comes not but for to kill, steal, and destroy. We Christians that are trying to do good and trying to do right things and live righteous, we can't get it into our thick skulls what that means. He comes not but for to kill, steal, and destroy. Throughout human history, whether it was the Mayans or the people of this pyramid or the people who lived up on this hillside or that. Throughout history, there have been entire civilizations that had apparently a pretty advanced civilization. All of a sudden, as we go back, we can't find any trace of them. It's like everybody died overnight. Well, we don't know what happened, but my guess is they really did die overnight. What the devil does is offer technology and wealth in exchange for worshiping him. And the ultimate worship to the devil would be doing the very, very worst thing. And what would that be? That would be killing the most innocent thing. Like, well, that would be like babies, wouldn't it? Oh, we don't kill any babies in America. Or do we? We don't light up the cow god and get the hands of the cow god white hot and then lay our newborn children on the white hands and cook them in front of everybody anymore, do we? Or do we? Could it be that those kind of things are actually going on in secret? John 10:10 says the thief comes not but for to steal, kill, and destroy. If we can just get that into our heart, that everything that is good is represented by Jesus, and everything that is bad, the exact opposite, total, pure, 100% evil, is Lucifer. And that's what he wants his people to do. So basically what he's saying is, if you want money, if you want high technology, yeah, they had high technology back in the pyramid days, and they've had high technology several times through the years as you read through the Bible. There's been high technology out there. In other words, just like I believe it was in 65 or something like that, reported that the aliens came to President Harry Truman and offered him technology in exchange for him allowing them to abduct and to do experiments on humans. At the end of the day, it's still sacrifice, you see. It's still the more people you can kill, the more it pleases Lucifer. I know, that's sick. Now, let me get to the point of the broadcast. So the V is designed to get us to mask up. The mask is to get us to get tired of the mask, to take the anti-V. Then, when they release the second V in 2 or 3 years, according to Lindsey Williams, it will kill the people that took the anti-V very quickly. He said within 2 or 3 days, they'll be gone. And it's going to, now I don't know how many people have actually taken the anti-V. Reports are some places 30%, some places 60 or 70%. Try to imagine, if what he is saying is true, if it's accurate, try to imagine, well, let's just say 40% of the world population dying over the process of, let's say, 60 to 90 days. Can you imagine that? But see, that pleases Lucifer. That pleases the Moloch and the Baal worshipers. That pleases them. That we can't understand that, but that's where it's just really going. It's really heading to the mark of the beast. So that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mask. Oh, no. So that no man might buy or sell unless he has the anti-V. No. So that no man might buy or sell unless it has the mark. That's right, it's the mark. It's the mark. It's the mark. It's not the anti-V. It's not the mask. It's the mark. But you see, that's where we're heading. So that the Antichrist can walk in, sit on the Ark of the Covenant, proclaim himself God, require the animal sacrifice to be stopped, and says, everybody got to worship me. And then, of course, the false prophet and the clones jumps up, and they all say, yep, you got to worship him. That's God right there. Everybody got to worship him or be killed. That's why I recommend you get my book, Miss the Mark. In 2017, God helped me to memorize the book of Revelation and gave me 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me the word first fruits is a secret door linking the feasts of Leviticus to the prophecies of Revelation. For the first time, the end-time prophecies of Revelation can be placed in correct chronological order. One prophetic word said, there is a lock I put over a word in the book of Revelation I'm going to open unto you. It will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. It's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. So what if you had to tell a person the most important thing in the world, but you knew they're probably not going to believe you? Well, if you're listening to this, I believe you'd probably still tell them. Well, the most important thing to do is to receive Jesus. But the most important information is to not take the mark of the beast, because those people taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but they're tossed into eternal torment in hell without any possibility of escape. We put it into a book, Miss the Mark, Don't Take the Mark of the Beast, a simple book to give to people. If they read, they will never take the mark of the beast. Countless people are believing that they're not going to see any trouble of the tribulation. They're going to go in a rapture, which is a misunderstanding. So God had me write a book called How Pre-Trib Won. It explains how the Christian church was so snookered into believing a misunderstanding like this, and it helps them through scriptures to see the truth that there is not going to be a pre-trib, mid-trib, or pre-wrath rapture. No one is going any place to escape any testing. It's called How Pre-Trib Won. Then, the book of Daniel, most people agree, is probably the most difficult book in the Bible to understand. So I wrote a book called Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, which gives this last generation the explanation and the parts of Daniel that they need to endure the tribulation. Pure and simple, it takes Daniel and makes it easy to understand. It's called Tribulation Secrets in Daniel. As you know, many of the broadcasts have referred to a list of dreams, visions, and audible voices from people like Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Gruver, and others. We put together a special radio offer. You can get 10 How Pre-Trib Won, 10 Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, 10 Miss the Mark, 5 Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, 5 God's Warnings to America, totaling 40 books valued at $800 for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com. That's 40 books valued at $800 for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com. prophecyclub.com. Order School of the Watchman Teachers Package. You get 2 2-foot by 3-foot full-color updated prophecy charts, my personal handwritten spiral ring notebook of the Book of Revelation, 5 DVDs of the School of the Watchman, all valued at $325 for a gift of $200 at prophecyclub.com. School of the Watchman Teachers Package, 2 2-foot by 3-foot full-color updated prophecy charts, my personal handwritten Book of Revelation, the 5 DVDs of the School of the Watchman, valued at $325 for a gift of $200 at prophecyclub.com. Pastors inviting me in to teach the School of the Watchman get the package free. 785-266-1112 for the invitation. I'm calling all believers to bring your shofar and fast 48 hours and pray together September 6 to 8. We're declaring war against the devil and proclaiming victory throughout the land. Go to watchmanstrumpet.com and get signed up. watchmanstrumpet.com for all the details. When a nuclear device goes off, it produces an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, and it fries every computer chip unless they're protected. The good news is EMPShield.com has devices a military testing facility says are 100% accurate to protect against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. And they come with simple installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV, and electric generators. You can have electricity in a blackout. EMPShield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. This helps Prophecy Club. That's EMPShield.com. Promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. I'm calling all believers to bring your shofar and fast 48 hours and pray together September 6 to 8. We're declaring war against the devil and proclaiming victory throughout the land. Go to watchmanstrumpet.com and get signed up. watchmanstrumpet.com for all the details. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com is owned by a prophecy student who reads his King James Bible and supports Prophecy Club. Call CornerstoneAssetMetals.com for gold, silver, palladium, rhodium bars, or coins. They can help you roll over your IRA, 401k, so tell CornerstoneAssetMetals.com Prophecy Club sent you. If you are a regular listener and you believe Prophecy Club is doing a good work and has helped you, and you can help us, now would be a really good time. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Click like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend.